Well, hello, everybody. Hello. I was trying to turn off my heater, and let's get started with Chud the Builder. So, with Chud the Builder, this is Chud the Builder. And y'all seen the moniker, right? Chud the Builder wants help from all of us. Chud wants us to be sorry for Chud. And I feel sorry for Chud, right? I'm going to say something that might sound strange at first, right? I feel sorry for him. I do. But let me be very clear before somebody runs off at the mouth and acts like I'm excusing away anything that Chud has done. I don't feel sorry in a way where we erase what he allegedly did. And I don't feel sorry in a way where we pretend the people he harassed don't matter. I don't feel sorry in a way where we ignore the black people he targeted, nor the strangers that he provoked, the public spaces he poisoned, or the man who ended up shot outside a courthouse by his own goofy ass. Because according to reports, Dalton Eatherly, known online as Chud the Builder, is facing attempted murder and other charges after a shooting outside the Montgomery County Courthouse in Tennessee. Reports say the victim, Joshua Fox, is a black disabled veteran. Oh, you know you're in trouble now, boy. And his bond is set at $1.25 million. That is not me saying poor baby, okay? This is me saying what a pathetic loser and a waste of skin. What a sad, ugly, preventable waste of his life. And now, after all the screaming, all the slurs, all the harassment that Chud the Builder did, all the internet tough guy talk, the man is allegedly asking the black community for help getting out of jail. Sir, excuse me? You spent, Chud the Builder, you spent years treating black people like props for humiliation content. And now all of a sudden, you want compassion from the very people you degrade for clicks. Life is coming down a chute for your ass real fast. But let me tell you all about something I'm going to say about Chud the Builder. I am more than willing, absolutely willing to help Chud the Builder. I think this country should come together and get this man the help that he actually needs. Not the damn bail money, not the free Chud shirts, not a legal defense GoFundMe. No, I'm talking about real help that this man needs. Psychological help, mandatory counseling, full mental evaluation, anger management. Somebody sitting him down away from the cameras, live streams, and super chats and racist dopamine addiction long enough for him to figure out why hatred became his entire personality. Because let's be honest about this, there's no mental healthy person walking around making a career out of screaming racial slurs at strangers for internet applause. That is not stable behavior. That is not masculine behavior. That is not alpha behavior. That is a deeply emotionally broken man trying to feel powerful through this humiliation that he has presented for himself. He has presented this for himself. Okay? Nobody did this to this man. Nobody. Okay? And honestly, jail might be the first structured environment this man has had in his life for years. Okay? This is another one of those provocateur people. Okay? One of these goofy people be on the internet who say goofy shit. That's her. Okay? Another one that got kicked off the platform who didn't go as far as Chud the Builder. He's going to get 3 meals a day. No live stream button, no audience egging his ass on, no comment section calling him based. Yeah, man, you did it. No internet validation. Just him sitting with himself in a cell, which honestly may be the scariest punishment of all for somebody who spent years running from his own emptiness. See, this is why I feel sorry for his ass, but not that sorry. Because broken people are still responsible for what the hell they break. And at some point, society has to stop confusing public emotional instability with free speech bullshit entertainment. Because this is what they're trying to sell it as. Free speech. This ain't no fucking free speech. This is fucking harassment. Some of these men don't need a bigger platform. They need interventions. Some don't need donations. People like him and her, they need supervision. Some people don't need internet fame. They need to be far away from microphones until they learn how to function like civilized adults. So yeah, I support helping Chud. I support helping him be kept somewhere, safe, monitored, structured, and away from the public while professionals figure out why racial hatred became this man's life mission. That's my contribution right there. Because when I look at people like him, I don't see racism. I see emotional rot. I see a man who let grievance become his personality. I see a man who let the internet turn his worst impulses into a brand. I see somebody who probably started out thinking he was trolling or some shit, joking, pushing buttons, making people mad for clicks. And ha-ha laugh and kiki got everybody laughing at the shit that you say and the shit that you do. And then somewhere along the line, the performance became the person's whole world. That's the part we need to talk about, right? Because I don't think people like this just wake up one day normal, healthy, balanced, peaceful, and say, you know what I want to do? I want to go around, I want to walk around and harass black people for internet attention. I don't think he woke up and said that one day. I think this shit has been building. Something is broken. Something is hollow inside this person. Something is missing inside this person. But here's the thing. Broken people are still responsible for what they break. That's the argument I'm giving you tonight. I can feel sorry for this wasted life without feeling sorry enough to remove accountability. I can see his sickness without pretending the harm wasn't a real thing. I can say this man looks emotionally radicalized without diagnosing him or making him the victim of his own choices, because the real victims are the people he targeted. But the cautionary tale is that is him, and men like him and women like him who let racism cloud their whole world to the point that they just compelled to act beyond their square that God gave them. It's frustrating. This is what happens when rage becomes your identity. Not just an emotion, not just a bad day, not just a political opinion. Everybody knows about Chud the Barber. Now he's famous. Now he's infamous for doing dumb shit. First of all, people are applauding him because he went to the street and we got the free speech. We should be able to say the word nigger. Let's say the word nigger. It's so good to say the word nigger. But this goofy didn't worry about the cautionary tale. Didn't you see that goofy ass Hispanic cop that got fired from her job? Didn't you see that goofy ass girl? Didn't you see this goofy ass girl on the internet who was running around talking about I should be able to say free speech, I should be able to say the word nigger, I should be able to do whatever I want to do free and clear? And she got deplatformed from all her platform. Didn't you, the cautionary tale, didn't you understand that you couldn't do it either? Okay? When you don't just have anger, you become anger. When you don't just have the resentment, you build a whole personality around that resentment. When you don't just dislike certain changes in the world, you decide entire groups of people are the reason your life don't feel powerful or successful. That's how we hear every time I have some kind of short. I hear people get on there talking about the immigrants is taking our jobs. The immigrants is doing this, that, and the third. That's how you radicalize people. Specifically, you get radicalized about black and immigrant people. You're just a loser, plain and simple. If you can't decipher between your square, functioning on your square, and worrying about other people in the world. That's where people lose themselves. And I want to be careful with this because I'm not here to throw around medical words or terminology like I'm a doctor. I'm not saying this man has this diagnosis or that diagnosis. What I am saying is this, that for one thing, There's something deeply unstable about building your whole life around provoking strangers. It's not a strength of courage. It's fragile, fractured minds that can only feel relevant when it's manufacturing conflict. You trade real world growth for cheap dopamine thrills and hits from comments, angry comments, and super chats until your whole identity becomes the guy who starts shit in public. Eventually, the instability catches up with you one bad day. That's all it took was one bad day. In front of the courthouse, you decided you were going to provoke. What the fuck were you thinking when you stood in front of a courthouse and decided you were going to provoke somebody into action? When does free speech, that you know that thing on that only applies when you work for the government or you're part of a government official in a government official capacity, right? You know that free speech works like that. You know you get consequences for free speech, right? Apparently, a lot of people don't understand that you can get consequences for free speech. Okay? That instability caught up with this person. One bad day, one wrong target, and your whole life is fucked up in real time on camera. And you shot yourself, jackass. 2, there's something emotionally unhealthy about needing confrontation to feel alive. Normal life, building, creating, connecting with people starts to feel boring and pointless when your nervous system is wired for constant battle and attraction. You become addicted to the adrenaline spike of screaming slurs or getting a reaction because quiet moments force you to face the emptiness inside. And I get it. All these people are sitting here listening to you on your platform say the N-word. Nigga, 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 nigga. Some people they just gotta say, oh, it's a thrill to say it. It's just thrilling to say the nigga, 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 nigga. And then you get all of these people who love to say it but can't say it in real life. So they come into your chat, start giving you super chats, start giving you money, start following you, start subbing for you. And it becomes a high in your mind that, yeah, that's all. I just got to chase the black people down and call them nigga, 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 nigga. Okay. Paranoia. And this person is mentally unstable anyway. And you have goofies on here hyping you up to do this weird shit, this paranoid, crazy shit that you're doing. Okay. So you head in for a breaking point where the only outlet left is violence, where you got a gun, where you're taking a gun on these excursions because you know that you're becoming more and more unhinged with the content that you're doing. 3, there's something fundamentally wrong with you if this type of behavior rules your life to the neglect of your family, specifically your child, and his child has become neglected because of it. His own son becomes collateral damage, has become collateral damage. His mother trying to change the child's name just to escape the shame that you have created, that Chud the Builder has created. That's got to be fucked up. She's trying to change the child's name so the child won't be related to you. While you're out chasing clout by harassing strangers, your child grows up without a stable father, carrying the stain of your choices for the rest of his life. Yeah, that's your dad. Yeah. 10 years down the road. Yeah, that was your goofy daddy on the internet. Your goofy daddy was on the internet calling people nigga, 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 thinking that was going to make a difference. So he chose not to be in your life, fully in your life, but he chose to call black people nigga, 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 and get paid to do that. Yeah, that's your daddy. That's your goofy ass daddy. No amount of based donations or internet cheers can replace the real responsibility that he has abandoned, that Chud the Builder has abandoned. And that failure will haunt him for a long time after people get off the internet. And 4, there's something spiritually empty about needing to humiliate black people in public so your audience can clap for you online. It reveals that hollow soul that can only feel big by tearing other people down and turning human beings into props. That's no honor in that. There's no higher purpose to that. There's no real victory in that. Just a sad man performing cruelty for likes while his own life blows up. So in the end, he's not striking a blow for white people. Woo! He got to say the N-word. You're exposing how small and broken that you have become inside, and people who support you have become inside. That's not strength, and it's not masculinity. That is not confidence. This is a man begging strangers on the internet to tell him that he's important. Let that sink in. He's a man on the internet begging strangers to tell him he's important. And that's why I say I feel sorry for Chud the Builder. Because imagine being so empty that racism becomes your content strategy. That's your only content strategy. Let me go over here and talk to these black people, call them black. Let me see if they chimp out. Yeah, y'all go chimp out. Imagine being so addicted to online applause that you risk your freedom, your family, your son, your reputation, and now possibly decades of your life because you did something dumb and stupid. Because you couldn't get past the fact that there were other people on this planet that didn't look like you, that didn't respond like you. That's not power. That's weakness dressed up as aggression. That's insecurity with a camera. That is a man who found an audience before he found him fucking self. Before he found his fucking self. And this is even bigger than Chud, because this is the part people never understand. The internet has taught a certain kind of man that cruelty is confidence, that humiliation is masculine, that emptiness is weakness, that public distrust is the way to go. Disrespect is free speech. This is what they keep saying. Disrespect is free speech. That being hated means you're important, and that is dangerous. Because when you reward the worst behavior, you should not be shocked when the behavior gets worse. These men are not just yelling into the void. They have audiences. They have donors. They have fans. They have comment sections saying, go hard and say it again. Say the N-word again. Call them the N-word again. Tell them lazy niggers the truth. Tell them the truth about themselves. You own your based. And that audience is his fuel. And that's sad. The algorithm doesn't reward peace. Okay? But a man screaming slurs in a fucking parking lot, that gets clipped, shared, donated, attention. And attention is the drug. That's how the trap works. First is edgy jokes. Then it's racial jokes. Then it's public humiliation. Then it's public confrontation. Then it's threats, and then it's violence. If this was all for content, why'd you get your monkey ass on here with a gun? Why would you feel the need to have a gun? That's what I don't understand. Why did you get on here with a gun? I mean, why did you get on in front of that black person with a gun? I don't understand. Okay? Everybody says, what happened? How did this happen? The warning signs were already content. He had already showed y'all what he was made of. He had already showed you he was on his way to some goofy shit. He had already showed y'all that. But nobody was listening. Nobody was listening. And what happened to this man? This man brought a gun just to get some content. And once he went and showed gun, and he had content. I was like, oh, hell no. This person he gonna go too far. Chud the Barber, you went too far. You done went too far. I don't understand why you felt the need to go as far. Attempted murder? You mean to tell me you hate black people that much that you would risk your life? that you would risk seeing your child again? Being away from your child because you are too racist? The signs were already there that he was mentally unstable. That's why I feel sorry for him. But I'm not that sorry, because nobody forced him to monetize this hatred. Nobody forced him to make black people his props. Nobody forced him to turn public harassment into entertainment. But I do see the machine around him, and the machine matters. This is the scary part. At first, these people think they're performing. Chad thought he was performing. He thinks that he's playing a character. He thinks he's playing a character. See, he didn't do this in his hometown. His hometown, he did it in a bigger town, in the biggest town, right? He went to the biggest town and he did it in the biggest town. He didn't do this in his hometown. He knew free speech wasn't gonna fly where he lived. So he did it in Nashville. Not Nashville. He did it in the biggest town. I forgot. I think it was Nashville, but I'm not sure. He didn't do it where he lived. See, they think they can turn this kind of crap on and off. They tell themselves they're trolling, they're joking, exposing people, exercising free speech. No, saying the N-word is not free speech. I'm just making content. But after a while, the content starts making you. That's what people miss. When you spend every day pretending to be cruel, cruelty gets better or easier. Every day you pretend to be hateful. Hate gets comfortable. Provoking strangers. Normal life starts feeling boring. Your audience only rewards escalation. Peace starts feeling like a failure. At some point, the camera stops recording a character, okay? And this is the character who's consumed by the man. Or the man consumes the character. And that's what I see when I look at this rage stream. Trapped. Created a monster. The audience doesn't want the growth, the healing. Nobody sees the mental illness. Nobody sees his mental illness. Nobody sees anything. They just care about the next slur. They care about the next confrontation, the next arrest. Okay? The next arrest that this person has, the next body on the ground. See the goofy shit? Just confronting people. Chimping out. And everybody acts surprised when the whole thing ends up in handcuffs. We just surprised he was practicing free speech. Surprised that this man is in handcuffs. It's not surprising. That's the logical end of making confrontation your lifestyle or your platform here on YouTube or whenever. You can't spend every day lighting matches and then act shocked when something catches fire. Now we got to talk about the fact that he's mental, that there's a mental illness there. I'm assuming there's a mental illness there because I understand why people say people like this must be mental. I get it. Look at that. Sitting on a fucking stretcher. Knowing your ass going to jail. Knowing your ass going to jail. Just dumb for no reason. Okay? Because normal, healthy, grounded, mentally stable people do not build their lives around racial provocateurs. Normal people do not wake up and say, let me go find black people to harass for an audience. Just goofy. Nobody does that. Normal people do not need strangers to fear them in order to feel strong. But we have to be careful because once we say mental illness, some people hear that's an excuse. And that is not what I'm saying. I'm saying this looks like emotional radicalization. It looks like grievance addiction. It looks like identity collapse. It looks like somebody living inside a rage feedback loop. That does not remove his responsibility. It explains the pattern. And there's a difference because plenty of people struggle. Plenty of men are lonely. Plenty of men lose their jobs. Plenty of men have relationship problems, get rejected. The world passes them by, but most of them do not turn into racist public provocateurs like this idiot. So we're not going to blame poverty. We're not going to blame heartbreak. We're not going to blame loneliness. We're not going to blame society. We're not going to blame black people. This man had choices. No, a hard life does not excuse cruelty. But a hard life mixed with resentment, mixed with the internet, mixed with an audience rewarding your worst impulses, well, that can become addictive in a pipeline, and that pipeline is real. And then, but I got to say this very plainly. There's always an audience standing behind unstable men telling them to go further and further and further, always. These men don't escalate alone. Somebody's watching, donating, laughing, screenshotting, screen recording. Somebody's saying, do it again, call him a nigger. It's funny. It's funny until you find your ass in jail. It's funny till you find your ass facing 56 years in prison. It's funny. It's everybody got a motherfucking plan till they get punched in the face. Right? And that audience wants to act innocent after this explosion, after you all encourage this garbage on the internet. Okay? After it gets encouraged on the internet. See, I got one of these trash people in my comment section now, Douglas Baker. You're trash, Douglas Baker. Trash. They want to say, well, I didn't pull the trigger. I didn't say it. No, but you clapped during the spiral. You paid for the spiral. You paid for this man to go down the drain. You rewarded the spiral down the drain. You turned a man's emotional instability into your entertainment. And that's why I don't just blame this dude. I blame the culture that made him profitable. Because this is not just about one man in Tennessee. This is about a whole ecosystem that takes angry, directionless men and tells them, you're not lost. You're a warrior. You're a free speech warrior. You're not insecure. You're awake. You're not cruel. You're brave. You're not harassing people. You're defending civilization. You're defending free speech. This is how stupid men get turned into dangerous fucking men. They're handed a myth where their ugliness becomes heroism. Oh, the immigrants and the blacks are taking all y'all jobs. The immigrants and the blacks are taking over the world. The immigrants and the blacks are pushing us out. Now we got to do something now. And if they ain't already weak, lonely enough, angry enough, or desperate enough for validation, they believe this shit. That's why I feel sorry for Chud the Builder, because it's pathetic, but not so sorry that I forget the harm that he has done. Chud is not an isolated person on the internet. We got goofies on the internet everywhere. Goofies. We got goofies on here calling people mutts. We got goofies on here saying everything. Just trash white folks. Got to be trash white folks. Wouldn't be a black person that would call me a name. It would be trash white folk. He's a part of a broader online world where provocation is the product. You have people like Nick Fuentes, who has built a major online following around racist, anti-Semitic, misogynistic grievances. That tells you something. Hate is not just hate anymore. Hate is monetized. Hate has subscriptions, super chats, merch, private communities. Hate has fans who feel emotionally connected to the person feeding them poison. Have you ever noticed that all these people who get on here who talk about hate and race and all that kind of goofy shit, they a couple screws are loose somewhere? Have y'all noticed that they got a couple screws loose somewhere? They're incels, lost their family, on the outskirts of society. Have y'all noticed that that's what these people are? Okay. And then you have people like Baked Alaska, who live streamed from inside the Capitol of January 6th and later faced legal consequences. Again, look at the pattern. Live stream, audience, escalation, legal consequences, and still some people learn nothing. They watch one man ruin his whole fucking life. And instead of saying, let me step back, they say, that could be my opportunity to be the degenerate. That's the sickness of the attention economy that we got. Somebody else's downfall becomes somebody else's audition tape. And that's why Chud the Barber's, why I keep calling Chud the Barber, Chud the Builder, his story matters. Because there will be another Chud the Builder, and another and another and another, unless we start saying clearly, this is not the strength. This is not a rebellion. This is not courage. This is not masculine. This is emotional self-destruction with a live stream attached. And Chud is just the latest one. And history already warned us. These racial provocateurs always think they are bigger than the consequences. They always think they're speaking for the people. They always think history will vindicate them. But history has a funny way of stripping away that costume, that mask. Look at Richard Spencer. He tried to dress white nationalism up in suits and vocabulary and wanted it to look polished, intellectual, serious. He wanted racism with a clean haircut. Then Charlottesville happened. The Unite the Right rally became one of the clearest warning signs of what happens when racial grievance, white male racial grievance, gets organized, energized, and unleashed. And Spencer became a cautionary tale, deplatformed, sued, disgraced. A man who wanted influence became a symbol of disgrace. Then go back further to George Wallace. Segregation now, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever. That was his brand, his power, his performance. He built a political identity on standing in the doorway of Black progress. And yeah, later in life, he apologized. I got that. But that's not what history remembers first. History remembers the harm that man did. History remembers the hatred that man did. History remembers the performance of defiance that man did in the face of equality. This is a cautionary tale, this Chud the Builder. Not because being shot was justice. No, violence is not justice. But because a life built on racial hatred ended with pain. You have Bull Connor, fire hoses, police dogs, children attacked in Birmingham. He thought he was defending an order, this Bull Connor. Instead, he became one of the ugliest images in American history. That's what these racist men never seem to understand. They think they're writing themselves into glory, but they're writing themselves into shame. And Chud too. He's not famous in the way he thinks he is. He's not powerful in the way his fans told him he was. He's now a part of the same sad pattern. A man letting racial grievance become his identity. The crowd cheers. The behavior escalates. Then the consequences arrive. As always, swiftly and harshly. This is where Chud the Builder finds himself. That's why I feel sad, and I'm sorry for Chud the Builder. I can't help you. This is the only way that I can help you. You need help, and it's not to get out of jail. You need other types of help. And some of them may even include medication and pills, maybe lithium for some good content. I don't know. All I know is Chud the Barber has destroyed his life because of his racism. And if every one of these people who keep coming on the internet, talking like this, acting like this, building content like this for clicks and views, racism is going to destroy your life too. It will destroy your life too. Because there's other things to think about, to cherish, and to find important. This is not it. So for Chud the Barber, I feel sorry for you, but I can't help you in any other way. This is my way of helping you. My way of helping you is figure out what your priorities are. Hopefully you don't get 60 years. Nobody deserves to have 60 years because they're stupid. Nobody deserves to get 60 years because they're stupid. But you do deserve to get some jail time because you did pull a gun out and you did shoot another human being. So you should get time for that. I don't know how much time. I doubt very seriously he goes to jail because of the attempted murder, but he might go to jail for the other things. I'm gonna give them 5 years. I'm gonna say they're gonna give them 5 years. I'm just thinking, not the 50 or the 60, but about 5. Hopefully you get your shit together. Unfortunately, everything went down the chute in the crapper because you didn't care about it. So since you didn't care about it, it shouldn't care about you. And this is all the help I can give Chud the Builder, because he's beyond regular help. Now law enforcement is his only option. Is his only options. And unfortunately, I think they blocked that $200K that he had for his bail. I think that's been blocked, so he won't be getting out of jail. Unfortunately, nobody's going to reward this type of behavior. This is called attempted murder. Why would somebody give you bail to get out of jail? Nobody should give you bail to get out of jail. That's wild. But then again, maybe somebody will give you bail to get out of jail. It happens all the time. All the time. And I appreciate the content. If you guys like my commentary, please put it a like, share, and subscribe in the content in the comment section, please and thank you. What's his name? Douglas Baker 3344. Go fuck yourself. All 3 ways. And I will see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock for some more content. I appreciate it. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much.